Good afternoon, this is Dan Crowley, and we are calling together the Zoning Board of Appeals for August 20th, 2020. We have a hearing today, public hearing for a variance request, VR 2364-20, requested by agents for Meijer. We also have the meeting minutes from the draft minutes from our last meeting, which was June 10th, 2020. Call for approval of the minutes or discussion first and then approval. Anyone?
Motion to approve?
Looking for a second? I will second. So we have a motion to approve. All in favor? We just do it with a voice on this. Yep. Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Beautiful. All right. The agenda, the former agenda is approved. Assistant Associate Planner Lisa McNabla has a report for us, or a memorandum. Okay. I'm uncertain if we have any non-agenda items to review, if there is anyone here to appear. Here, but or online. Seeing none, we'll move on to Does anybody have any questions for the agenda review for today? Okay. Is this the Seminole Pond update? Is this the... Yes, Lisa McNabla, who's the associate planner for the city, will give us an update.
Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me. So I'm just gonna give a quick staff memo for the variance request VR 2364-20 by Carrie Williams, agent for Meijer, to exceed the allowed 150 feet of signage on a portion of property associated with 2975 Kpec Road. So, I'll just go over the staff memo really quickly. And the applicant is requesting a variance to exceed the maximum 150 square feet of allowable signage in the business general zoning district. So they are requesting 300 square feet of total signage for the main Meijer store. The application refers to signage for the Meijer store and the convenience store and gas station, but I just wanted to clarify for the record that they only need a variance for the signage at the main store and not for the gas station or convenience store located on the property as well. So maybe I'll just share my screen, make it a little bit easier. All right. So this sort of shows the site plan. The main Meijer store is obviously the larger building to the north, and then the gas station is a little bit south. So the portions of the city sign code that apply are section 26-82A, which specifies that signage shall not exceed 150 square feet, and section 26-82D, which states the same, that total signage area per business shall not exceed 150 square feet. So I just wanted to go over quickly the standards for a variance. I think now we've gone over this a couple of times, but I know we do have one member where I believe this is their first sort of signage variance request. So I wanted to just outline it for the record, that there are sort of three standards by which area variance requests are considered. So we have unnecessary hardship. So for an area variance, unnecessary hardship exists when compliance would unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for permitted use, or would render conformity with such restrictions unnecessarily burdensome. And that unnecessarily burdensome aspect, I know we've kind of gone into detail a little bit in the past to sort of clarify for members what that means. So, Unnecessarily burdensome should be interpreted based on the intent of the ordinance. So whether or not conformity is necessary to achieve the ordinance purpose. So hopefully that makes sense, and just thought I'd remind everybody sort of the purpose of the sign ordinance is to provide standards to safeguard life, health, and property, to eliminate hazards to pedestrians and motorists brought about by distracting sign displays, to preserve and improve the appearance of the city, and to promote the public welfare by regulating and controlling the design, area, number, construction, location, and installation of all signs. So just a quick kind of summary of that standard. And then the second one, unique property limitations, is unnecessary hardship must be due to unique physical limitations of the property. And third, no harm to public interest. A variance cannot be granted which results in harm to the public interest. And then, still sharing my screen here, there's also just quick kind of details on the site and the signage exactly that's being requested. So the Meijer store is a one-story, about 160,000 square foot building that fronts Fitchburg Road. So the building hasn't been constructed yet, but they recently received approval from Plan Commission, and then a couple of items will be going before Common Council on Tuesday. So this is just sort of a part of all the approvals that they're requesting. And the proposed sign package includes 4 signs, and I have them highlighted here on the site plan of their approximate location. We're mostly just focusing on the amount of signage as opposed to specifically their location, but just to give you sort of an idea, and I'm sure the applicant may be providing more information. And then just for the staff recommendation, that if the board were to find the standards for a variance to be met, it could be, they could approve the variance request, and any action by the board needs to include a specific rationale for approving or denying the request. So a motion should refer to those 3 standards specifically. And then just for the record, staff would, if it were approved, would recommend just the 2 standard conditions of 1, no other permit or approval is waived or deemed satisfied except for the approval provided herein, and 2, approval is based on submitted application and materials. And then just a quick reminder that it takes 4 votes to approve a variance request and only 3 to deny. And to that, I think maybe you could open the public hearing and then swear in the applicants.
All right, let's open our public hearing, and I'll have Ashley Mack and Carrie Williams. I'll swear them in together or all at once. So Ashley Mack and Carrie Williams, please raise your right hand and answer truthfully the following oaths. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this hearing brought before the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Fitchburg, Wisconsin shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you both. Why don't you start with your remarks? You want to state your case? Who are we going to hear first?
I will actually start. My name is Ashley Mack, Real Estate Manager for Meijer. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the board for their time and consideration this evening. A little background on our business, as I know Meijer doesn't have any stores currently in the Madison market. We're a family-owned and privately held company based in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We operate 247 stores across our 6-state footprint, 13 of which are in Wisconsin, with our latest store opening in Manitowoc this past July. A new Meijer store in the city of Fitchburg would provide customers a one-stop shopping experience. The store would employ approximately 250 to 300 full and part-time team members and will offer more than 100,000 different products and 600 types of high-quality fresh produce. We offer a full-service pharmacy with clinical services and vaccinations, as well as an expansive garden center, gas station, and convenience store. We would like to request a variance for 300 total square feet of building signage for our main store building, and understand that the city's ordinance does not make any special allowances for big box retailers such as ourselves. The Meijer team has partnered with staff over the last several months and have reduced our prototypical signage package from over 1,000 square feet on the main store to just 300, which is effectively a 72% decrease of what our prototypical stores have. In addition, we only have one monument pricing sign on McKee and no monument signage or any additional signage along Fitrona. This site, as we presented this evening, will have the least amount of signage of any other store within the state. As any retailer will tell you, signage can be a very powerful tool to increase brand awareness, improve customer experiences, and drive additional sales. As this location will be one of our first within the Madison market, signage will be critical to help build our brand awareness. The strict application of the provisions of the sign ordinance would constitute an unnecessary hardship for customers not familiar with our store when they are in need of our services that we provide, such as our pharmacy, home goods, and fresh produce. In addition, the main store has two separate entrances. It is in the public interest that we identify our home, which is our non-grocery side, and fresh, which is our grocery entry, to help create a safer experience for our patrons to know where they should park, improve traffic flow, and ease the transition between vehicle and pedestrian traffic. Our site, as I'm sure everyone's very familiar with, has some significant development challenges. The ordinance is unnecessarily burdensome due to the property conditions such as steep grades, soil conditions, and extensive earthwork, as well as visibility. The building will be located 400 feet from Fitrona and 700 feet from McKee, which is comparable to where the Hy-Vee and the Target sits back from me. In addition, which makes us different from Hy-Vee and Target, is that we also have a gas station that's located in front of our store, and the back of the gas station is also located against McKee, which is the busiest road and blocks the visibility of our main store. There is also existing berming to the east of the main store site with the quarry, which will remain for now, and we will also be installing a retaining wall on the west side of the site, and as I mentioned, the back of our gas station will be facing McKee, which also limits our visibility. I hope our presentation this evening has shed some light on our request, and we thank you again for your consideration. Meijer is excited at the potential of becoming the newest member of the Fitchburg community and working together in the future. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.
Ashley, this is Dan Crowley.
Yes.
I do have a question or two.
Sure.
First, I will tell you that I'm very excited that you're coming to town. I've been to your stores, and they're very nice. You were speaking about the two different entrances and what you feel is the inadequate signing. How much of this additional request is to meet what you think is the proper need for those two entrances?
What we have currently proposed, each of those entry signs are about 20 square feet. Generally, we like to have those on are larger. However, we were able to reduce them to identify those two entries.
So those are adequate, you feel?
We've, out of respect of kind of your ordinance and not to request more, we think what we're presenting tonight we can live with. You know, going below 300 square feet, it would probably require us to eliminate those. So we're comfortable with what we're presenting tonight. If we have to go lower than that and not get this variance, we think we would not be able to label those entrances.
May I ask, I'm sure you have spoken to an awful lot of municipalities over the years about these things. Have you ever built a store and not made a request for a zoning variance increase to the signage?
Could you say that again? You just broke up a little bit. My apologies.
Oh, no, that's my fault. Have you, in the years that you've been doing this, in speaking to zoning and the like, have you ever built a store without making a request for a zoning variance for signage?
I can tell you what our prototypical signage package is extensive. I can tell you this is a normal request for us. We usually, some municipalities don't have any ordinances in place, so we don't have to ask for it. But this is a common request. But I can tell you, I've been with Meijer for 5 years, and this has been the most restrictive ordinance I've had to face to date. And we knew, in fact, this was probably the top thing I brought to my management when we were looking at this site. We looked around at the competition, the Hy-Vee and the Target, and this was the first thing that came to mind was the very restrictive signage ordinance the city has in place. So it is a big concern for us. We did identify it very early on. But again, we feel like we've put our best foot forward in an effort to partner with the city, and you know, we're hoping we can reach an agreement and be able to move forward.
Okay. Any other?
I do have a question. Does your signage say anything about being a grocery store, or is it just listing Meijer?
It is just listing Meijer. Usually, once people come in, they understand our brand, but that's why it's so essential to have those wayfinding signs. It's got home, you've got fresh, and then also you have the pharmacy identifying the front of the store. So at least it highlights our three main businesses. You've got home, grocery, and then pharmacy. And then, of course, you have the gas station and convenience store on the corner, which we were able to reduce our signage to fit within the ordinance.
Very good.
Can you talk just a little bit more about the development challenges on the site that you identified, the sort of steep grades and especially?
Oh, yeah. As I'm sure everyone's very familiar with, there is a ton of, and even the area in general, you go from low to high. There's significant grade changes. In order to make the site work, we're installing $1 million retaining wall in the back of our site. We're doing underground detention. There's some soil issues. This site is probably going to cost us 3 times more in site work than we generally see. But again, we're excited to be, Madison's a tough market to get into. Fitchburg, we think, is a fantastic market to be in. We're willing to kind of move forward knowing that these challenges are out there and take them on in hopes of spurring development on this corner. But of course, signage is a big piece for a new retailer, and we're hoping the city can grant our request so that we can feel comfortable moving forward and expanding our brand across the state.
And I'm assuming that the location that you've chosen on the lot is really the only location you have here in the big box area.
It's the only way we can fit. Ideally, I'd love to face McKee, but my box is just too big. So I'm facing lower, the road with less traffic on it. I'd love to face McKee like Hy-Vee and Target does. So already the placement on my box is a little bit of a disadvantage.
Thanks.
The common argument on the signage is that Google Maps will get you there. But this is not the first time you've heard that. And I will not apologize for the fact that Fitchburg has a very, very stringent ordinance, but I will agree with you that we do.
Yes.
So, any other members have questions?
Lisa, is this whole area adjacent to this property?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Something was breaking up.
I'm asking if the whole area is zoned commercial, or if there are any other zoning districts adjacent to the property.
Sure, yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. Might be helpful if I just share my screen again. Don't have a great sort of site plan for everything, but so essentially they were just approved at Plan Commission to rezone the Meijer lot and then this lot 2 to business general. Right now lot 2 is vacant, but once council, if council approves the rezone, that would be a business site. And then across the street at Fitchburg is still the existing Winger Quarry site, and that would continue to operate as such. They have a couple of buildings sort of along Kpec, and then on this side, it's technically the city of Madison, and they are residential uses, but they are facing sort of the rear of the store. And I know that Meijer has kind of worked extensively to sort of mitigate other impacts such as lighting and the view shed, towards the building. But all the signage would be facing primarily Fitchburg. And then on the other side of McKee, obviously, is more commercial development.
And you said the quarry is going to continue to operate for now, but in terms of the future land use map on the comp plan, is that industrial, commercial? It's not.
Yeah, so that's also slated for business as well, eventually.
This entire neighborhood was a quarry. Hy-Vee, all of that development was the first quarry to be ended and changed. It's been a long, long process. And I don't know, maybe it just makes sense that all 3 grocery stores are within spitting distance, but that's how they're there. Do we have any other discussion? In fact, is Carrie Williams going to speak, or is she just attending?
Carrie's just my backup.
Oh, very good, just kept.
Thanks.
Probably great. I would say, I mean, might as well start discussion. There's no more to put in. I would say for discussion's sake that, and I won't even go to fairness to the fact that we have 3 stores there and they have varying different, but those have been a function of 3 different zoning boards that have made different determinations. I don't see hardship here. I'm sorry. I know, for one, I live in the city. I know when you open, I will go to your store and I will be aware of where it is. I do recognize that you probably have much better signage in other places, but I think, you know, once people have been in your store and pleased by it, that will take care of itself. I am not inclined to see the hardship that requires a variance. And I would make a motion that the variance be denied because it does not meet the hardship standard.
I second that.
We need to take a roll call vote for this? Okay, all right. On the denial, we'll call roll.
Crowley?
No, or
Aye.
aye to the denial.
Colleen Chase? Colleen?
On the motion to deny?
Yeah, you would just have to say aye or nay.
Aye. Aye.
Sure. Matt Palda
Aye.
and Julia Potter? Aye. Aye. Okay, so motion to deny the variance was approved. All right.
Sorry. Do we have any other business before us today?
No other business.
I'm on the Farrell letter, I'm sorry. We're at the point of item number 6, which is a report from the department.
Sure, so no report from the department.
All right. Do we have any announcements? Okay. Well then, does anybody wish to move for an adjournment?
I move.
Matt moved. And I will second. Dan Crowley second. All in favor say aye.
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 The hearing is completed.